welcome to another episode of Hayley's Help. On today's vlog, I am going to be showing you how to clean out your vacuum. I've had a few messages come in where you've been asking how to do that, so I'm going to show you that. And also, a few of you have been asking me what steamer I use and how I use it, where I use it in the home. So I'm going to be showing you guys where I use the steamer as well and how I use it for different things. So this is going to be a very informative vlog, if I do say so myself. The first thing you need to do when cleaning out your vacuum is you need to check the rollers underneath the actual unit itself. So if you've got a family that's got loads and loads of thick hair on their heads, probably going to find that your vacuum is crammed full in the rollers with hair. So you just need to make sure that you remove all of that. So I'm going to do that now because I know for a fact there is a whole lot of hair in this here vacuum. Okay, so on my vacuum there are two buttons that I can press on the top, and I can just take off the lid of it and pull out the actual roller itself. So this is what it looks like. There's not actually as much hair as there normally is in it because I do this quite regularly, but there is still hair in this, as you can see, along here. So that needs to come out. And this is where Shark are very clever, because they've given a little tool which sits within the unit to pull the hair out, like so. And it just comes out so easy. You can scrape it along the grooves and you can then pull the hair out. Okay, so once you've got the hair out of your roller, you can then go ahead and place it back inside for now. If you don't obviously have a hair removing tool, you can use scissors, and I've sometimes used like knives before and stuff, but just be really careful that you don't cut yourself. So that's gone back in for now, and then what we're going to move on to is the actual cylinder itself. That is going to go into the sink with some bleach water, and once that's run in the sink, this brush will then come back out and that will get soaked through as well within the sink of bleach water. So let's go and fill our sinks up. So this is the canister of my Hoover. As you can see, it looks really dusty at the moment because this is an old house and it does get loads of dust. So I need to empty this out first, and I need to pop it in the bin, and then we are going to go on to cleaning out the actual canister itself. Okay, so what you're going to do is get yourself some bleach. You can use washing up liquid as well if you prefer, and just pop a little bit in your sink and then fill it with some hot water, and that is where we are going to immerse our vacuum canister, and we can then go about wiping down our vacuum, cleaning it all down. Don't worry that it's being done in the kitchen, because I'm going to show you afterwards how you can then clean up from it and all be fine. So now the canister is in the bleach water, you can go ahead and start cleaning it out. Just use an old cloth that you can either throw away or that you use for like dusting or you know, different things around the house. Don't use your dishcloth, obviously, goes without saying, because this will be quite grimy. And it comes up really nicely. Like I said, make sure that whatever vacuum you have, you check first that the canister can be immersed in water and it's not going to mess up the whole unit, because I cannot be liable for that, I'm afraid. Okay, so now you've cleaned your canister, just leave it on your draining board, just dry out. I don't like to use tea towels on it and stuff. I just leave it there to let it air dry, and that is absolutely fine. And at this stage, you can then add in to soak the actual roller brush. So pop that in your bleach water or your washing up liquid water, and that can then have a nice little soak, and that will come out as fresh as a bean. A bean's fresh, or like a coffee bean's fresh, isn't it? Or a flower bean. Okay, and with your cloth that you've been using, make sure you squeeze it out really well. You don't want it to be soaking wet, you just want it to be slightly damp. You can then just wipe over the whole vacuum, just getting off kind of any dust or whatever. And it will really make the vacuum just nice and clean again. Again, if you're not using bleach for this, washing up liquid is totally fine. I would try and go for an antibacterial one, or I would use a sterilizing solution, which you can get for babies' bottles. But just give the whole unit a wipe over and it will come up as good as new. I'm sure that's why most vacuums end up like breaking, because I think they just get a bit neglected and forget to be cleaned because they're constantly picking up dirt. And if you don't keep your vacuum clean and tidy and kind of maintain it, then I do think they just end up giving up. They lose their will to live because they think, I'm sick of being filled with a load of junk and no one bothers to clean me. I'm cleaning everyone else. It's like slave labour really, isn't it, if you're a vacuum? You're cleaning everything for everyone else, and then they're kind of sitting there like, hey, please clean me. You could do the tube as well. If you pull that off, you can just swish around inside the tube. Some people clean through these. I don't like to do that because I can never be sure that it's completely dry, and if you've got wet still inside the tube, you will get a blockage. Trust me, that is a promise. So I avoid doing the actual tube itself. You can obviously pop it in the bath in some solution to clean it out, but I just feel like you're going to be waiting for ages for the actual tube to dry out itself, and you can never be sure if it is fully completely dry. So the next time you then go to vacuum, any dust or dirt, it will just stick to the dampness within the tube. So if you can avoid doing the tube, just do the canister, the rollers and those things, and you will be a-okay. Right, so now you've cleaned out your canister on your vacuum, what you can do is just go ahead and wipe the sink over just to make sure you haven't got any of the dust or the debris left over on your sink. You're going to grab a new clean cloth and put it in some bleach, which is what I've done here, and just wipe over the whole of the sink area with the bleach rag. And then at this stage, my steamer comes into play. So I said earlier, I'm going to show you different ways that I use my steamer and what I use it for, this being one of them. So I'm going to fill the steamer up, and then I'm just going to give the whole of the sink area a blast of steam, just making sure that I've got all of the different bits where I've cleaned the vacuum. So I will do that now. While I'm in this area, I'm going to show you as well, you can steam your windows with this. Just blast the steam on, and what you need to get is like a squeegee. So this particular one here that I've got is by Oxo, and literally you can just pull down on the seam and they come up really nicely, your windows, when you do it this way. So obviously what I use this mop mainly for is my floors. You could just throw the mop pad down, which I love. You don't have to touch it after this. The backs of it flip open and then you just plug it in and go. Right, now I've finished doing the kitchen floors with the mop, I'm going to take it upstairs and I'm going to show you guys how you can do the carpets. With my steam mop, what I also like to do is, if you take the pads off, you can use it just to like freshen up your carpets, so it just brings them back to life a little bit if they're looking a bit worn and a bit miserable and glum. So I'm going to do that now. So the vacuum stuff that I cleaned earlier, that is being left to dry still. So I will leave that now, ideally overnight, and then I'll be sure that that's dry by tomorrow. If you can't leave it overnight, then go ahead and dry it with an old tea towel or something, or an old towel, something that you don't mind getting, you know, vacuum juice on. Not that there should be, because you've soaked it in bleach, but I just think make sure you don't use any of your best and nicest towels and stuff. So just use like something old if you have to dry it off. But I prefer to just leave it to air dry, and then come the morning it will be completely bone dry. It can be reassembled on my vacuum, and then it is good to fight another day. So I hope those of you that were asking me to do this vlog, you have found the pieces of information you were seeking. You're like, oh, who's that man that goes across the seas, like Christopher Colombo, I think it is. You're like him, but the homemaker version, wanting to know how to dismantle a vacuum and clean it. And I've showed you, hopefully. If I haven't, then you can ask me, depending on what brand of vacuum you've got. I'm not an expert when it comes to all the different vacuums. I don't claim to be, so I don't know if I can help you with loads of different ones, but if you give me like pictures and stuff, I'll have a rough idea of how you can take it apart and the different things that you can do to clean it. So do that if you need to, but this vlog generally gives you the idea of what you need to be doing. You found this vlog helpful. If you did, give it a like. And if you did like this vlog, please share and subscribe to my channel. And I will see you all again next time on Hayley.